I've got some time to chat. You know of Astro, that tune is always sleeping around in the oddest of places. Once I found him even sleeping on one of the many trains here in Garden. I'm unsure how long he would be there if I hadn't woke him. I've got something I can share. Blood randomly can be seen carrying that inky little sculptor he calls Junior. Not sure if he truly has any attachment to that little art project of his. But I keep seeing him recreate the thing. Honestly, a bit odd to me. Boxton's been up late at night recently. Tells me he can't sleep when I ask him of it. I wonder if a music box ever needs his own music box to sleep. Pfft, what an idea. Have you heard of this book club some tunes are attending? You have to be invited to such. How exclusive. It's a shame I'm far too busy to attend even if I wanted to. It was Brittany. I wonder what she was doing up so late. Gardening depends on me to keep things running well. Prussia once approached me and asked if she could paint me. I declined. There is no way I have the time to sit for hours and hold a pose. I may be dialed timelessly, but I'd rather not to waste that much time. Dandicus doesn't believe me when I tell him but I swear, Connie is watching me invisibly at times. I am told I may be simply paranoid, but I don't believe so. Between you and me, I think Cosmos baking is better compared to Sprouse baking. Which is shocking, because I believe Cosmo has burned more batches of baked goods. But when that sweet food isn't burnt, it's delectable. I hope you're aware any earnings I receive from purchases go right back to Dandicus. I work alongside him. We're associates in a way. No, I'm not allowed to take tips. You know, Finn isn't terrible company. I would argue I enjoy his company. I allow him to ramble on about his aquatic interests, and in return, I get to go on about my train interests. It's the perfect trade-off. Oh, let me tell you about Flutter. She is lovely truly, but I can't help but wonder how far she could truly fly. Think about it. She can fly for so long, but how high up could she reach? Could she, perhaps, pass the clouds? I can only wonder. I can't even fathom how anyone can pass by Gigi's room and not be concerned. I swear, every time I pass by that room, she just has more things. How many things can one have? How many collections warrant such? You know what? I will admit something. I'm concerned for Gleason. The amount of times I've seen that mirror bump into things, well, it's concerned to say the least. I asked him if he was clumsy perchance. He of course went on in that tone he uses. No, no, I'm Gleason. I'm perfect, not clumsy. Shh, I can see through that. Here's a little something to know about me. I don't like physical contact. I rather people ask before they go and hug me and whatnot. You know who loves to hug? Goob. I honestly don't have the energy to deal with his energy sometimes. You know the circus bunch, or whatever they call themselves. I wonder if such an unlikely group would be friends if it weren't for the fact they walk together. Honestly, I don't know if I would consider anyone here even a friend. I consider everyone more of a co-worker, associate, time to spare. Well, I've got something I can share. And I will tell you, one thing for certain, that pet rock Dandicus has is fascinating. He recognizes all sorts of commands, though he doesn't just do them for anyone. I've seen him only do certain actions and tricks for tunes he prefers. Mostly tricks to cheer up Dandicus from what I've observed. I don't have the luxury of friends. You know, if you really think about it, a bubble called Poppy is a bit morbid. Maybe it's just me. Have you seen the twin masks, Razzle and Dazzle? Children used to get their names mixed up, but I've heard they both really enjoyed their names. Can't say I hate my own Dial. It really suits me. This may sound a bit silly to you, but Dial Timelessly is in fact my full name. Haha, I sometimes like to do my own small record keeping and investigations. I'm told I'm not allowed to be speaking with Roger. Scrubs once asked me if I prefer dogs or cats. I answered cats as otherwise I feel it would have been very awkward. But between us, I don't particularly like either. I prefer ponies. I've been looking through some old records at some point, letters and files, whatnot. You wouldn't believe how many letters I found of Shelley's. She would go on writing to the founders of Gardening, many writings of dinosaurs specifically. I swear there was possibly 5 beans worth of letters. Honestly, I'm not sure why we keep shrimp around. I had intrusive thoughts of just taking him on a train ride one day. And that would be his last stop ever. Oh well. I often actually chat with Sprout, seeing as I supply fresh food here. There's a train that leads outside of Garden U itself. I ensure supplies end up here. Of course, no other tune is allowed on this specific train. You wouldn't imagine the things I have to do to ensure we get a few luxuries. Tegan once requested to host one of her iconic tea parties on a train. Sadly, I couldn't allow that, but imagine the atmosphere. That's the best place for a tea, aboard a train. Anything is better on a train actually, except snakes. I can appreciate someone like Tisha, she's actually very punctual. That is, unless she is cleaning and well, she cleans very often. Maybe she isn't that all punctual, when you think on that fact, haha. I can't help but feel a little bad for Toodles. The poor girl doesn't exactly have friends her age. Unless we count that kid she plays with around Halloween, though I wouldn't count such. Those holy themed tunes barely show around when it isn't their season. You know, I was never one for Wii's game show, and I'm not just saying that based on all the riveting stories Dandicos tell me about her. He definitely does not enjoy her company. Don't tell anyone else, but sometimes I leave candy for Yata out by the trains. Just a little handful, but it's always gone by the time I return.